Hey all you rusty freaks, since my right hand is crippled with RSI, here's some more tips. Door campers and griefers. Assume that a trio of griefers have been camping your front door for half an hour and you're getting sick of it. How about this? You kill yourself and look at this. This is my base. I have bags all around. South, east, north, west. So depending on where your front door is and so on, you pick whatever one you want. Let's say we pick the east one. And what you do is you bury some basics, depending on what server you're on, because if you're on a face punch server, chances are cheaters are going to find the stash bag using ESP. Don't do that. But get your health up. Meanwhile, they think you're inside your base, and you sneak up, especially if it's just one guy. It's so easy to sneak up on him, and boom, boom, the door camper has been flanked. And you can just keep doing this as often as you like. It depends on how many flank bags you place. Here's another one. See? Whatever you want to place there, you could put armor in there. Not just guns and food. Didn't get in the first time. Get in the second time. Alright, I think you get the picture. I don't need to keep respawning at all the different sites that I've placed myself. Now the other thing is, let's say you've tried all that and he keeps beating you, or maybe it's 5 guys and they keep beating you and you just get sick of it. Another tactic that I do in almost all my wipes is I have monument bags. See this satellite dish? I have a bag there. Harbour, I have a bag there. Mining outpost, I have a bag there. And it's a fun thing to do for many reasons. 1, it's a change of scenery, it gives you a break. 2, it's free loot. The idea is if you die, you just spawn somewhere else, right? And what you want to do then is loot the hell out of this place. Okay, satellite dish. This is a bad example because it's got radiation, but let's say it doesn't have radiation. Basically, you loot the hell out of the monument and then you run all the way back home. If you get home, it's free loot because you just spawned there naked. If you don't get home, no loss because you just spawned there naked. That's a great tactic, very useful for solos. You'd be surprised how often you actually will make it back running naked from some monument you've just looted. It's also a good thing to do when you're raging after you just keep getting killed and killed and killed, instead of spawning back at home and trying to fight those people yet again. Just spawn at a monument, see if you can loot it all, and the challenge then is to see if you can get back home naked. Free loot if you make it, and no loss if you don't. Okay, this tip is to do with loot rooms. I still see most people having loot rooms like this. Why? This isn't just for show. This isn't just to seem cool. Okay, let's say someone raids your base. Okay, here's another free tip. If you place your explosives like this, and then switch between them as you throw them, they'll blow up faster. Like, see, there was a delay. It was boom, then boom. This is what happens if you do it this way. Okay. Now, do you see the difference? These boxes hard to break. See the difference? This loot room, if someone raids through this wall, gives you access to the rest of the base. Some cases you might be able to soft side to the next area, or maybe they left the doors open. Okay, so say you destroy this box, you can't get through here. Then you have to raid this, basically another metal wall. It's like an extra layer of honeycomb. It stops people from getting in your base. So basically, the tip is, everyone should have a loot room like this. It's very easy. Alrighty, next tip. Even if you're new to Rust, I'm sure you've noticed there's TCs all over the place, from decayed bases, from bases that have been raided, that are just standing there, but they're locked. I don't know why people don't break these open. Whenever you see one, trust me, break it open. You never know what you'll find. Oof. These guys just left it. Seriously, it felt like half the server was there fighting over that raid. And none of them came back. This is like 2 hours later, none of them came back to check the TC. Do it, guys. Check the TCs everywhere. Another tip from someone with over 10,000 hours experience. Don't build these. I mean, a lot of people think that it's a sign of them, you know, becoming big boys when they start putting high walls and building a compound around their base and having a large furnace. Yes, it's nice how it cooks the metal frags so fast. And even the high walls are debatable. Do they protect your base, or do they just make people think that your base has got loot in it, that it's worth raiding? What are they trying to protect? But definitely don't build large furnaces. What happens to most people when they build large furnaces is that because they're so efficient, they always end up short of charcoal when it comes time to make gunpowder for booms. All you'll ever need is a couple of small furnaces in your base. You just keep them cooking all the time. Well, that's my advice to you anyway. Remember in the previous video when I showed you that pressure pads can be placed above and they work just as well as walking over them? So if someone crouches in a crawl space like this, if there's a pressure pad above, your head will trigger it. Well, guess what? Snap traps and landmines work like that as well. I noticed that merely crawling through isn't enough. Like you see, there are snap traps above me right now, but if I were to jump, it would trigger them. And since you can't make someone jump, and if they've got a crawl space like this, they've got no reason to jump, you need to figure out some reason for them to jump, or give them something like this which raises. See? That made my head go through the roof, and that activated the snap traps above. You know, if your food and your water is full, you've got a much higher chance of standing up when wounded. Okay, so see there, we've got a landmine. Crawling underneath it isn't gonna do anything, but if I jump or walk on something that raises my head into the ceiling, like the fireplace, it will trigger it. Now I'm gonna jump. There you go. If you have a base where you don't want people climbing it, for example if you've got roof access, anything like that, what grubs will do, or raiders, or anyone just, you know, reconning your base, maybe they want to raid it, if they can place build-ups on it, that can give them a real advantage, and there's a way you can stop this from happening. Let's have a bit of fun here. So, let me fly. See where the line is between the walls? Just place one of these. And now, no one cannot build in this area. There's actually quite a few uses for these tricky little buggers. Can stop people from dropping in through the gaps in shooting floors. Nice little jump ups. Anyway. Terrain. You can use terrain to your advantage, especially with building. See this base here? If you saw this with the open door, or if someone had run in there, you wouldn't think twice about following them because you see nothing until it's too late. Shotgun traps. And it's because of the slope of this base. If I'd have built it a little bit closer to the slope here, it would make it impossible to get in when the owner places objects like this. Even this was pretty hard. You know, no one can pick those up except the owner. So the owner can pick them up and get in. So it would have a dual purpose for building your entrance on a slope. One is to hide shotgun traps if you do place them on the ceiling like that. And if you know from my previous videos, I've got good reasons for never using shotgun traps like this. Well, I do, but I don't expect them to be effective. But this way, they can be very effective. In fact, it serves as a good trap. If you put something shiny like one of those eggs at your front door, people often rush up to check it out only to get blasted by your shotgun traps. Another way you can use terrain. These ramps might seem clever for horses and cars and minicopters to get them inside your base, but they're a pain in the ass because things get stuck in there. Much easier to just build your base using the terrain so that it's nice and flush with the terrain and your entrance. Much easier to get the horses and vehicles in like that. If you're using bunkers and one of the things you want to do is do a roof seal, you can use the terrain to protect this from fire damage. So if I load fire rockets in here or use explosive ammo or anything, that twig won't get damaged because of the terrain. If you check the twig, it's full health. So there's lots of things you can do with terrain. Think of caves. In caves, a lot of items like furnaces and so will like half clip through. See this rock here? See how this item's clipping through? If you build in caves, you can save a lot of space by clipping items through parts of the rocks. In the swamp, this is the wrong kind of swamp, but there is a swamp that has a little jetty, and that one, you can build a base so your front door has the jetty goes onto the... Oh, here we go. This guy's doing it right here. This is exactly what I wanted to show you. Oh, no. Anyway, see that jetty? That's part of the map. And so you can build your base to use it as if it's part of your base design. That's it. So use terrain. Okay, my last tip is a tricky one, and it's to hide loot in your airlock. Yes, you heard me right. Hide loot in your airlock. But Paxus, what are you talking about? Your airlock is probably your weakest area. Well, think of it from a raider's perspective. Of course you're not going to place fireplaces like this. I'm just in a hurry. You get budget videos from me. Now, from a raider's perspective, they're checking your base out, and they can see that's your entrance, and because you've got windows, they can see that you also have roller doors, the roller doors poking through there, so they can literally count, oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 doors, and we don't even know, it could be armor doors, to get to the juice, which we know is in these 2 squares, or 3 squares. So I've often gotten away with putting all my rockets and gunpowder in fireplaces like this, in my airlock. Yeah, sneaky. If any of these are new to you, please pass them on. If they helped you, like, subscribe, and comment on here. It would really help me. Peace, love, and mung beans.
Paxus. It's like, come on, pop boy, give me some of that brown butter pumpkin milk.
Funny, don't you think?
And now I'm stuck in